Hello there, one and all, and thank you very much for tuning in to episode 526 of Love at First Scent with me, Persolaise, live on YouTube. And for those of you watching live, and for those of you who try to follow the live broadcasts, apologies for the lack of videos. I won't bore you with the details. There have been a few things going on that have prevented me from being able to do my usual Saturday, Sunday videos. Don't worry, everything's fine. Hopefully normal service will be resumed before too long, but I have a bit of a slot here now on this unusually a Wednesday evening, so I thought let's try and get some videos done. Let's interact with you good folks. So let us carry on as we usually do. First comment goes to Alex, who says, "Hello Mr. P and hello from Austria to everyone." Hello to you, Alex. Scent of the day is Abbey Rouge Parfum. Ah, interesting choice. Mais says, "I'm so excited to be here for my first Love at First Scent live. A change in time zone has made this possible. Greetings from Dubai." Okay, marhaba. Dry Martini says, "Good evening and best wishes to all from Berlin. Today is my new Le Pâtisserie Passé," says Dry Martini. I haven't smelled that one for a while. That's Lutin's, right? I don't think I've smelled that one since it came out. Jeff says, "Happy Lunar New Year." Absolutely. Or is it New Lunar Year? Happy New Year to those of you celebrating New Year. Now, Ralph says, "Hello, really looking forward to your thoughts on this one yet to sample." Spencer is here too. So is Omar. So is Suki. You are all very, very welcome. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do consider doing so. You should be able to see a link to my Ko-fi page in the video description below if you would like to find out how you can support my work. And if you enjoy the video, please do give it a thumbs up because that really helps. Okay, very quickly as well, for the benefit of those of you watching live, the plan for today is to do 3 back-to-back videos, 3 single perfume videos. We're going to start with a review of this new version of Acqua di Parma's Colonia. Then we will come back with something that's kind of been reissued, rebranded, renamed, whatever you want to call it. We'll talk about that in the next video. And then for the final video, a modern classic celebrating an anniversary. Okay, let's get going. Alexandra says, "Hello from the USA. I was reading Nez magazine, as in the French word for nose, and they quoted you." That's nice. Yes, I think I've written for Ney as well, which has been great. I wonder which article it was. I think they quoted me in the one that linked music with. I think there was a fairly recent one as well that I haven't seen yet. So yeah, that's you may gather that I'm a fan of Ney and the Ney publications. Carry On says, "Hello from Canada," and Ellen says, "Finally, I'm able to join live instead of watching the recording. So excited. Greetings from Sweden." Okay. This is a new version of Acqua di Parma's Colonia. We have a press release, we have a pre-sprayed blotter. They're calling this one, can you see that there? They're calling this one Acqua di Parma Colonia Il Profumo, the perfume, but interestingly, confusingly, it's an EDP. Okay, so I think the idea, we will find out when we read the press release, I think the idea is to make a more concentrated, stronger version, an EDP in fact, of the classic Colonia, which was released in the early part of the 20th century. Original Acqua di Parma Colonia, in its current form, is I think still stunning, really beautiful, one of the best colognes that you could hope to get. Just that perfect balance of citruses and herbs and that kind of barbershop soapiness. It's approachable, but it's authoritative. It's friendly, but it's assertive. It's, I guess, if you had to put it into a kind of gender code, it's masculine, but it absolutely doesn't have to be masculine. It doesn't overstay its welcome, which is a very, very important attribute for a cologne. You do not want colognes to overstay their welcome. In fact, very often attempts to make colognes that last forever fail. There are a few notable exceptions. True to its name, Cologne Indélébile from Frederick Malle is an interesting one. Mugler's original cologne. But it's fascinating that Acqua di Parma have chosen to release this now, because it's a brand that, at least in the UK context, seems to keep struggling to form a very, very coherent, clear identity. I know that their main breadwinner in this country is the Cologne, is the sort of more overtly masculine range. And I think when they've tried to go into more overtly feminine perfumes, they haven't quite succeeded. I think rather unfairly. Now, Rosa Nobile it is a really, really very well done rose. As you know, I'm a fan of a lot of the blue Mediterraneo scents, but I don't know if they do very well here. I mean, I really, really loved Chinotto, but I think Chinotto has been discontinued. I really loved the Spugnatura version of Bergamotto. That was a limited edition. So I think they keep trying to find ways of resonating with the UK audience. I gather their home scents do well, and deservedly so. Their candles are beautiful. And they've also done different versions of their cologne, haven't they? So that we had a Colonia Futura. There is, I think, either an Essenza version of the Colonia. There was, I think, an Intense version. So they've messed around with that as well. There was the Cologne Club, or CLUB, which I think has gone. So after that very, very lengthy preamble, 6 minutes worth of preamble, let us have a spray of this. I have smelt it before very, very, very briefly. And I think my thoughts on it are pretty much set now, having smelt it a few times. Gavin, hello, says, I think the name Acqua di Parma is problematic when trying to market anything that is a perfume rather than a cologne. Yes, although I'm not sure that they encounter that problem in Italy particularly. It's a brand that you see all over the place in Italy, and I think it has managed over the years to establish itself as a brand that creates lots of different sorts of perfumes and other products, bath products. It just seems to be in this, I was going to say Europe, not allowed to say Europe anymore. I think in the UK and maybe northern European countries that they haven't quite managed to find an audience. Anyway, this is Colonia Il Profumo. Now, Jeff says Chinotto di Liguria is much missed. I agree. This is an interesting piece of work. As a kind of olfactory exercise, it's an interesting piece of work, and I hope that the press release will tell us who has made it. Why do I say it's interesting? Because that Colonia signature immediately comes out, particularly in the form of that soapiness, which I think is Acqua di Parma Colonia's most distinctive feature. You don't, in the Colonia, get a particularly distinctive citrus note, in the sense that I don't think you sit there going, oh yes, I can see the mandarins and there's the lemons and there's the grapefruit. I think it's much more about a general sense of citrusishness, and then come the herbs, and then come the musks, and this soapy feel. And it's that soapy feel that they've put front and center in this. And then you also detect a floral note, maybe something white florally, maybe something orange blossomy, and obviously orange blossom is completely in keeping with a traditional eau de cologne structure. Jeff says, my sales rep mentioned Alexis Dadier as the nose behind this. Interesting. But your sales rep, as in just in a shop, he's a very, very, very good perfumer. It may well be him. But what you also get, and I think this is going to be a but that we're all going to have to live with for a good while to come, is the fact that clearly, in order to make this last longer, in order to make this palatable to current taste, to modern tastes, in order to make this feel like it's got more oomph than a mere cologne, we get quite a prominent, hefty dose of woody ambers or ambery woods, whatever you want to call them. And I'm not sure they belong here. I'm not sure they belong in the Colonia universe. And I think maybe it might have been interesting if a different way of making the cologne larger and more long-lasting and more tenacious had been found. I could also say to you, what do I know? because the woody ambers seem to be selling and flying off the shelves, and so maybe they thought, well, perhaps a way for us to enter into the woody amber territory, in the same way that maybe a few years ago brands were saying, how do we enter the oud territory? Maybe they thought that the way to do it is by going, is by latching woody ambers onto Colonia. Gavin says, I guess they go too far when pianos try to be guitars. Did Tori Amos really say that? That's a good line. My thought whenever anyone tries to make a long-lasting cologne. Woozy says, I guess we'll stick with the Essenza. And Jeff says, Colonia Il Profumo. Let's look at the press release very, very quickly. Or perhaps not so quickly. We don't need to do it particularly quickly. We are not in a huge rush today. Okay, are we ready for this? A vibrant and contemporary is right, interpretation of the Maison's timeless classic, Acqua di Parma marks a bold new era with Colonia Il Profumo, a modern and intensified interpretation of the Maison's first ever fragrance, the iconic Colonia, originally launched in 1916. So it's doing well. This new fragrance blends over a century of tradition with contemporary elegance, capturing the sun-warmed vibrancy of Italy, with a heightened concentration and the addition of ylang-ylang. Okay. Colonia Il Profumo offers a richer, more enduring fragrance that celebrates a timeless classic while embracing modernity. And I guess it's this thing of how do you embrace modernity, the challenge they set themselves. And you can imagine a lot of people would have said, well, what Sauvage got? What's Bleu de Chanel got? What have a lot of the masculines? What have they got? The fragrance opens with lively citrus notes, Italian bergamot, grapefruit, blood orange and petit grain, elevated by the addition of ylang-ylang. This new ingredient adds depth and intensity, enhancing the fragrance's character. Rosemary and orange leaves blend with ylang-ylang in the heart, creating a multi-layered aromatic experience. The ylang-ylang essence is carefully refined, selecting only the most vibrant elements to bring out new dimensions in the scent. That's sort of referring to some kind of fractional distillation, isn't it? The base is grounded by the earthy richness of vetiver and the depth of patchouli, with the patchouli precisely chosen to maintain and enhance the fragrance's character. Colonia Il Profumo is presented in an elegant Art Deco bottle, okay. The new fragrance is accompanied by a collection of lifestyle objects. The Colonia Portami trunk and Posami perfume tray are designed to display your fragrance collection. Fine. There is a Colonia Abbracciami candle glass holder designed for 200-gram candles. This is not going to tell us who the perfumer is it? No, because it goes on about the objects. The Colonia, oh gosh, apologies to Italian speakers, Custodissimi accessories candle case made from cherry wood with yellow edging, provides elegant storage. The leather objects are all made in Italy. To celebrate the new Colonia Il Profumo, the Maison uses an Italian design metaphor as its visual cue. A bespoke yellow glazed element by Cristina Celestino for the historic terracotta company Fornace Brioni symbolises the renewal of the classic into the contemporary. I love the fact that all these details are in there, but nothing about the perfumer. Fine, and that's it. It's all gone a bit goopy, says Gavin, and Rachel says, lifestyle objects. I think the online obsession with beast mode whatnots, says Spencer, has a lot to answer for here. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. But, beast mode, however we interpret that, sells. It is what a lot of people want. This stuff makes me immediately dislike the perfume, says Bozok. Well, don't judge a perfume by its objects, okay? Pre-sprayed Colonia, and then we will move on. Okay, this was sprayed 4 hours ago, something like that. Soapy muskiness of Colonia, plus lots and lots and lots of ambery woods. So it's kind of doing this sort of playing notes at the top, playing notes at the bottom, but the notes at the bottom are pretty harsh and aggressive, I think. But then that is how I read woody ambers. Okay, so there we are. Thank you very much for watching, folks. By the way, if you're watching the recording, feel free to leave a comment, ask a question. I usually get round to those fairly quickly, but we will be back in a few minutes with, well, Find out if you're watching live. Come back in a few minutes and find out. But for now, thanks for watching this one. See you soon. Bye.